We are glad to be with you tonight at Christian Life Assembly. Brother Nathan, we're going to worship the Lord tonight. We're talking tonight about being ready. Being ready. Jesus is coming soon. And we'll sing a couple songs here that go right along with that as Sister Pam and Brother Woody lead us. God bless you guys.
Shore, and what a day that's going to be when we shall meet our Jesus.
There is coming a day when no heartache shall come, no more clouds in the sky, no more tears to dim the eyes. All is peace forevermore on that happy golden shore. What a day, glorious day that will be. Oh, what a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see, and I look
I'm so thankful this tonight for His blessings. I'm so thankful that one day we're going to meet Him and we're going to be with Him forever and ever and be forever again in the land of promise where we'll never grow old, where we'll never die, no more sorrow, no more sickness, no more death. That is going to be a glorious, glorious day.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, Lord, we celebrate that and we thank you for it tonight. All the hope that we have in a hopeless world, we give you the thanks for it tonight and bless your name. You deserve it. Thank you, Jesus, for your glory and your praise tonight in the house. Be honored. And Lord, we don't have to sorrow like those with no hope. And we will not all sleep, but we will be changed. Very simple. Thank you. Bob, Sister Pam, have a song ready for us. And Brother Wood, if you want to sing to, you're sure welcome to. Whatever you'd like to do tonight. Okay. Okay. I'll find it.
And I'm so thankful tonight that one day we're going to be with Him, you know, all of our trials and all of our troubles and all of their sicknesses will be gone. And even though we're going through the valley right now, and we're not going to be on the mountaintop all the time, because if we would do that, then we would not realize how much the blessings of God really is until one day that we have to go down in that valley. And you know, we're not down there by ourselves. He's there with us. And pray for us as we try to sing this song. Sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes I find it hard to make it through the day. There are times I just don't understand how it ever found my way. But as strong as the storms that took me to my knees, I understand and see that sometimes it takes a mountain for us to just believe. So I anchor near the cross tonight, so I can just be near Him. And I go straight to the Lord, the banks of that river. I hold near to my friend. When God comes and shakes this worthless vessel, I can barely see. And sometimes it takes a mountain for us to just believe. Did you ever think you'd find yourself out among the thorns? The path you've taken is all so grown up, and you can't find your way home. But in any valley or any desert, you just stand and receive. For the blood can carry you over the mountain when you ask and believe. So I anchor near the cross tonight, so I can just be near Him. And I go straight to God for the banks of that river. I hold near to my friend. It comes and shakes this
trials and tests are so much harder than we realize. Sometimes we face things, and I'll share this little bit of information with you. I was in Vietnam, and I was Gardner Road, and we got a call on the radio that a Russian tank, the North Vietnamese had shot their way through a bridge and was coming toward us. And you know, I looked, how am I going to protect my men? You can't run, you can't desert, you can't hide, or you're in trouble with the government, you know. Stood there. I went and got a rocket launcher, put it on my shoulder. I got a detonator to play more mine. It was in the road. And I'm sitting there in the road on one knee with that rocket launcher. And on my shoulder. I'm evaluating the situation. The first thing that's going to pop through the trees is that big cannon on the front of that tank. And you know, I thought, you must be crazy. But sitting here like this, you know, my hopes were to blow a track off the tank so we could get some aircraft in there. He couldn't chase us down. We could get some aircraft in there and take care of it. You know, but then I began to remember the God that I served. You're facing a situation that seems hopeless. You know what? God made it easy. I don't know what scared that driver, but before he came through the clearing, he got scared and he took off and he started driving through the rice paddies to get away.
Amen.
You know, God is able.
Yes.
God is able. He'll get you through every situation. And you know, I can say that I came through that test for the better because God showed me no matter what the situation, He is capable of taking care of it. You know, if it's not your day to go, God's going to take care of you and bring you through it. And so we need to just put our trust in Him. And we need to remember and recall all the times that God brought us through those trials and tests, those mountains. And we should increase our belief and our faith in Him. Just put your faith and trust in Him, and He will see you through. He parted the Red Sea. He closed the mouth of the lions. You know, He's done many, many things. He turned bitter water to sweet water, and He can do whatever you need in your life. Whatever you need in your life, because our God is awesome. He's an awesome God and a great God. Let's just put our faith and trust in Him.
Yes. Amen.
Brother Woody, have you got a song to sing tonight? Pray for Brother Woody. He's got a beautiful voice, and I know he wants to worship the Lord.
Amen.
Thank you. Want to worship you. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Thank you. Beautiful song. Beautiful song. It's good to be here. You know, I think Pastor's sermon tonight is talking about Jesus is coming. And you know what? It's not going to be long before that day comes. I've heard it said once before, a long time ago, that our lives are just, this world is like one big puzzle, and there's just one remaining piece to put in. And that's going to be His coming. And I think it's not going to be long. Pastor, if you go ahead and start that track number 3. Troublesome times are here, filled with hearts with fear. Freedom we all hold dear, now is at stake. Humble your heart to God, safe from the shafting rock. Seek the way pilgrims trot, Christians away. My Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon. Meeting with me, there, doom trumpets will sound. And all the dead shall rise to see in the sky, going where no one lies heavenward bound. Our troubles will soon be Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon, anywhere near there, the trumpets will sound, and all of the dead shall rise, rising in the sky, going where no one dies and we're found. Well, my Jesus is coming soon, morning or night or noon, anywhere there, the trumpets will sound, and all of the dead shall rise, rising in the sky, going where no one dies and we're found. Amen. Every word of Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. He's coming soon, church.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
Amen. Yes, he is.
Clap for you, Lynn, and we didn't clap for County Bob.
Yes, I know.
He did a wonderful job.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Lord.
God has a good purpose for us tonight. You know that? And He's already spoken to me. He wants to
Amen.
continue to speak to us tonight through everything that's going on.
Yes.
Lord, have your way. We've got some different things going on in the church, and we'll remind us of those. I do not have my tablet. It flew away. It flew away like we sang it last night. But I pretty well think I can do this part. We have coming up this Sunday night a special time of singing, and so we're going to worship God and lift Him up. You know, we have some guests coming up. We have some different folks that are going to be coming and sharing with us in song, and who knows, maybe I'll get up here to do that. So, but don't run. It's all for Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Let's give Him the glory as we come together Sunday night at 6 o'clock, and we put it on WRUS announcing it, folks. So. I appreciate you looking, brother. I don't know, it is a mystery. It's for that
In
one.
the office, you mean the,
You know, I had that just a minute ago.
oh,
We'll find it in a second. But also, we do make mention of it too, coming up February 14th, we have a special Valentine's Day time. And Sister Alana's working on getting some lasagna together, she told me. So, we'll look forward to that. And, probably play a few games, she said, and we may have her share. So Brother Bob, who just shared about that, and I think I might go the other way too if I saw you with a rocket launcher, brother, just so you know. But praise God, it's a good testimony. He'll be sharing with us again really soon. Right now it's looking like February the 10th. So hope you can keep tuning back in with us for these services. Some good stuff ahead. Have a business meeting too coming up February 7th. No Sunday night service that night. So just some different things we remind us of as a church that we're looking forward to. And tonight we want to give God the glory for His coming back for us. He is coming very soon. We look forward to that time. And come here, brother. You mind to share for a second? All right, Brother Bob, come back here for a second because we're going to add to this because I'm missing my notes. God bless you, brother. Please testify, of course.
Isn't the Lord truly wonderful?
He is.
Amen.
He's a wonderful
Yes,
God.
He
you know.
is.
And the Lord's been good to me for so many years.
Thank you,
So many
Jesus.
years. He's kept me down through the years. I started out in Kentucky, and here He's brought me back. I feel like I come full circle. And you know, I feel at home in Kentucky. My brother in Pennsylvania keeps telling me, you haven't got your Kentucky accent back. But it's probably because I lived all over the United States. But you know, God's got wonderful people everywhere. God's people are truly beautiful because Jesus Christ is on the inside, shining out. But you know, maybe I shouldn't say this on the internet. Somebody in Pennsylvania might hear it. But people in Kentucky seem like they're very special. They love the Lord. And they care about their neighbors more than most any place that I've lived. And I feel truly blessed to know all of you.
Amen. Amen. Appreciate you sharing, brother. I'll try not to get too big ahead with that, okay? Bragging on Kentuckians. Thank you, brother. Sorry about that, y'all. Call this, Are You Ready tonight? Are you ready? be sharing from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 through 18. 1 Thessalonians 4, verses 13 through 18. God has consistently told us as His people we need to be ready. Be ready. Whatever's coming, be ready. And He doesn't want us to be ignorant concerning that either. We'll talk about that here. Verse 13. But I do not want you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning those who have fallen asleep, lest you sorrow as others who have no hope. And in verse 14 it says this. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so God will bring with Him those who sleep in Jesus. For this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord will by no means precede those who are asleep. For the Lord Himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore comfort one another with those words. Very key verse there. Father, thank you for your word tonight. We stand on it, dear God, that you are coming soon for us. And that, Lord, as we study your word tonight, you'll help us to understand that better, how and why we need to be ready. In Jesus' name. You ever heard of the rapture? Many people have heard that term used. Rapture is actually a Latin word. It comes from a Greek word, harpizo, which means to be caught up. And that's found in verse 17 that we read here, that Brother Bob has up there. When it says being caught up, that's the word that we have, rapture. And there are many things in life, even before we get to that point, that we find they're unexpected. Ever been in an unexpected storm? That can be a pretty intense thing. You're driving through, and all of a sudden it starts raining. You got to pull off. Maybe you're outside. I tell the story one time we were outside a picnic in the park, and woo, we all had to get in because that rain came. Those summer storms, they come up, and you got to be ready to move when it's time to move. And in life right now, that's where we are. We're dealing with a lot of things that we've never dealt with before in this past year. Not just the ins and outs of the plague that's running through the world, but just the changes that come with that altogether. You know, for many people, their lifestyles have had to change. What they've done has had to change. For things in this church, things have had to change. And then, of course, in the recent days, we've had a change in our church with our God moving our assistant pastor and his wife. The cross is dear to us, but moving him on to what he has next. It's a change. We've got to be ready. It was a reminder as they were leaving that, hey, we've always got to be ready for whatever God has and however the things move. Readiness is something He's called us to. And ultimately, it's through with the rapture. And we could talk about all the ins and outs of the details of what we believe with this, and we'll get to some of those. But I do want to give us a couple of main points now that we have, because you see, many believers, many unbelievers, many heathen, if you want to call them that, they have no hope. It was true then when this was written. It's true today. An inscription they found back in that day basically went something like this: after death, no hope. That was what they believed. And many people believe the same thing today. All they got is this life, and it's a terrible and sad thing. And we do realize that sometimes folks do part. If you go back to verse 13, they were sorrowing because of the people leaving in death. And even now in our lives, sometimes death takes folks. Sometimes life circumstances just change. People move, get new jobs, and so on. People aren't always there. But I'm glad God is always there. And soon, very soon, He's coming back for us. And we rejoice in that. He wants us to rejoice in that instead of being hopeless. So how can we know that, and how can we be ready? We'll share with us for just a few moments. Focus on the Lord. Focus on the Lord. In these verses we read tonight, look to Jesus. I look forward to seeing people that have passed on before. Aren't you? Many people, when they think of heaven, they think of their loved ones that have gone on before. And we believe we'll see them, as it says, together in the clouds. We will be with them. But the real big emphasis in these verses is on who's coming to get us, Jesus. And so we don't want to forget about him and just how important he is in this whole process. And then we rise because he rose. When I was little, I played something called video games. And when you play video games, I played on a system called a Sega Genesis. If you're around my age, I'm 37, you might remember that. Then I played on something called a Nintendo 64, and then so on after that. And in video games, you earn achievements. You get your achievements, you earn your thing, you get to go on to the next level, the next thing, the next task you got. And that's how it works. Is that how it works when we're talking about the rapture or being ready? Not at all. You know who earned the achievement for us? Jesus, by what he did on the cross. I can't do enough stuff. I can't earn enough achievements for me to get to heaven. He's the one that's going to have to take me there. Eternal life with him is his achievement. And we need to celebrate that tonight where we are. We celebrate because of what he's done. Look at that instead of our own achievements that we have. Because at the end of the day, they end at the end of the day. And I remind us his achievement never ends for us. Verse 16 that we read, Brother Bob had up here, he himself is coming. Jesus doesn't send an underling to get us. I have a job where I deal with trash. I'm what they call the waste coordinator, as many people know. And I deal with all kinds of different people. We deal sometimes with the folks out in the community, and sometimes, though, there's a situation that comes up with the trash service we have here, got to go to the boss man. You ever had to go to the boss man? Didn't need to go to anybody else, but you got to talk to the boss. You got to go all the way to the top because it's a pretty important issue for things to get worked out. And the reason I say that for us is that Jesus didn't send just the underling. He ain't just looking for the underling to go to get us. He's coming. We're going to meet Jesus in the clouds. Aren't you glad of that? Aren't you glad Jesus himself, the Savior, that you were going to see his face, as the song said tonight that we sang. We're going to see his face and not just somebody else. You know, you have the story of seeing St. Peter at the gate and all that. It's kind of it's not biblical. It's a kind of a tradition that it's kind of about. I'm glad that we're not seeing anybody else as an underling being in charge. We're seeing the one, the Señor, as they say in Spanish, the man, Jesus. He's who is coming to get us. I celebrate that tonight. Amen? I celebrate the one who died for you and me is coming for us. Look at him tonight. And in verse 17, Brother Bobby couldn't get that up there. We're visibly united with Christ. We're going to be one with him forever. And the sister Pam, she was sharing about how all the things that we're free from, the greater passage, the greater focus, all the things you can think of that heaven has. And we could talk about those tonight. But the greatest thing is him being there. Jesus. He's there. Not only is he the one coming to get us, he's the one that's going to be there and the main focus of heaven. And so I'm grateful for that tonight. That so many times we're distracted from that. So many times people, maybe everybody's situation is different. You might be watching this on the internet tonight. It's a little different situation. You know, isolation. Some folks haven't been disrupted much at all. But whatever it is, life is full of distraction, taking us away from the main focus, the main thing. And we need to keep the main thing the main thing. And look to him because we're going to be with him forever. If we're going to be with him forever, why don't we let the idea of this draw us closer to him now? One of the beautiful things about the Bible, a lot of times you learn from the past, the history, the story, the things that are told. But one of the beautiful things about looking at Revelation and some other places is the future can come. You learn from the future about now, if that makes sense. And so what I'm saying is this: we're going to be with him forever and celebrating forever. If that's true, it'd be a good idea to get to know him now. Wouldn't you think? Lord, help us to do that. Lord, help us to know Jesus now in a greater way and be ready when he actually does come for us. And I do mention this, verse 18, with the word comfort here, when it says comfort each other, draw near to others. God has called us to draw near to others. It's hard sometimes in this time we're living in to be near anybody at all because of the regulations and whatnot with the virus. But God has called us to be near with others. And I encourage us to encourage each other because we need it. Find ways to do it. We make it work as God allows us to. Amen. So he is the focus of it, and so we need to be ready. We reemphasize that tonight. Verse 17. Paul believed he could still be alive when Jesus came back. And Brother Bob, if you put up that Mark verse, Mark 13:33 for us. If you would put that up here for us. A lot of times we can tend to procrastinate on things. As they say, kick the can down the road. The Bible says this, take heed, watch, and pray, for you do not know when the time is. Always God has called us to be watching. We don't know when Jesus is coming back. We believe, we're very firm believers in our church that Jesus could come back at any time. He could come for us tonight. We firmly believe that. And so we have got to be ready. And there will be a calling up of the saints to heaven. And we look forward to that, yes. But we understand that it could be at any point. We see the signs of it coming. And we know that we've got to be ready. And then the verses in 1 Corinthians, Brother Bob, you put those up, 1 Corinthians 15, 51 and 52. The Bible talks a little bit about what's going to happen to us. There's a couple of verses here. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. And verse 52 puts it like this. In the moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So Jesus is coming back in a moment. And all the Left Behind videos, everything you've probably maybe seen in pop culture about this, you know, it emphasizes and works with this, but it's true. It's not just a story that somebody has, it's true. In the blink of an eye, faster than anybody can ever get ready to go, people are going to go up, and it's going to be time. And we don't want to be among those left. Amen. Amen. And there will be a calling up of the saints. You know what science tells us? This is not going to know. You know what science tells us is going to happen to us? The science, as it's called out there. Eventually, the sun is going to get so hot after millions, billions of years, it'll cook us all on the planet. Everybody will die. But I'm thankful that's not really true, because you know what it says here? We will not all sleep in death. There are going to be people here when Jesus comes back. And Paul was thinking, I'm going to be one of those. We are going to be changed, he says, in the moment twinkling of an eye. He was expecting it to be him. And even though it wasn't at that time yet, we expect it too. We live in expectation and readiness that he's coming back. And it's not going to end like the world thinks it's going to end. It's going to end with him in charge, and we're going to be with him. And the goal is for us to be ready when he comes in that flash. Back here in the back, we have little woods at our church site, and I did something back last year. We were playing a little hide and seek with a couple of folks with the kids, and we were having a good time, right? And you get in those hiding places there, and I realized something about it is this, and they did too, as they were playing. It was Little Breed. We were playing Little Breed and Ricky D, if you know them. But we were playing a little hide and seek. And if I'm not careful, them too, you deliberate the value of a hiding place, right? Am I going to be able to hide here? Am I going to be able to stay here and not get bitten by too many snakes, etc.? Am I going to be seen here? If you deliberate everything, you know what the people say that are looking for you? Ready or not. And remember that as a kid? Ready or not, here I come. Ready or not, here I come. And if I'm not careful and I'm not hidden, it's going to be worse than any of the choices I had, because I wouldn't have hidden. And there I am, bright as day. And guess what? It's hard to hide me if I'm standing out in the middle, right? I'm too big. I said that to say this. Lord, help us to be prepared and to make the decision who we're going to hide in. Jesus. We'll make that decision sooner, as in like now. We need to make that decision rather than later, because we understand that Jesus could come back, and we live like he could come back at any moment. At any moment. Don't procrastinate. Anybody ever been in school? Let me give you another example. Anybody ever been in school if I had something due, you know, a lot of times when the time would be, I would work on it, not before. You know how that is? You procrastinate, right? You put it off until it comes up. And I had to learn the hard way. You better get it, you better work on it beforehand and not procrastinate. Because we don't know the exact date. Some like school, we don't know the date things are due. When Jesus is coming back for us, Jesus told several parables, and when he was saying, I'm going to come back when you don't expect it. And you better be doing what you need to be doing. You better be right. And I'm often worried about being ready. And, you know, you ever believe in the rapture, you know, believing that people will disappear. I have that at times. I've looked for my family in the bed just to make sure they were still there. And they didn't leave me behind back in the day. You know, I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but I have. And sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. I'm worried. But I do want to encourage us tonight. Jesus can give us assurance. He can give us that sweet peace to know that it's going to be all right. And when it's time, he'll come for us. If we don't have that assurance tonight, we sure can. We sure can. So how do we wait? How do we wait for the Lord in this time? Eagerly. Just like we're ready for things to head normal again in the world. I'm ready to get some things going back to normal. And eager to get back going again. We're eager for him to come back again for us. And Lord, help us to make sure that Jesus is first. And have an urgency also, not for us, but others as well. And because if folks aren't ready, there's a big tribulation coming. A big trouble is coming on the earth, the Bible tells us. And the troubles we have now, think about the great trouble that is coming. And we don't want, or we believe, as our church believes, we don't believe we have to be here for the big part of that, the great trouble coming. Jesus is coming for us if we're ready for him. So I conclude with this. Are we ready? There was a little girl that was in class, actually with her mom, and her mom was giving her basically what I'm telling us tonight. Jesus is coming soon. He's coming. You better be ready. And the little girl did the only thing she knew to do and said, Mommy, if he's coming soon, will you comb my hair? And I encourage us tonight, think about that. Have we combed our hair, so to speak? Have we put ourselves ready in all the ways that we can? Are we ready to go and to meet him and gotten ourselves ready to go in the way that we know how to do? Because he'll show us and help us if we come to him. Are you ready? Are you ready? I want to pray for folks tonight. If you're not sure you're ready, God wants you to be tonight. I want to pray with you that the Lord will encourage you. If you have family that are you're seeking God for, that you just don't know. You don't know if they died tonight, or if Jesus came for us all tonight. You don't know where they would go. We can pray for them and agree for them as well. God wants us to be ready. Father God, we do intercede tonight for each one of us. That you'll examine our hearts and help us, dear God, in those areas where we're lacking and we're not ready. Draw us closer to you, we pray. That we might hear your voice when you're talking and respond. And if any is hearing you tonight and you're telling them to make it right, if they're not right where they need to be, dear God, they haven't turned their lives to you, we pray that they respond to that in the name of Jesus. Admit themselves, dear God, as needing you, needing a Savior, confessing you with their mouth, repenting of their sins, turning to you. We believe for them tonight. If they take that step, we agree with them in Jesus' name. We agree for any that are believing for loved ones to do that. Loved ones that have all sorts of issues that they're just not ready. They're just not ready. And Lord, I just pray that with a loving heart, you guide each one of our loved ones and give us the words to say to them, Lord, so that we might see them be ready for you, dear God. Without judgment or any kind of harshness, but with the urgency still that you're coming soon, that Lord, we will see our loved ones come to you. We intercede for them. Give us that, we pray. Salvation and deliverance for them in Jesus' name. have needs tonight. For Lord, you do heal us completely when we get to heaven, but Lord, we do also heal here. And I just pray, dear God, that in everything you heal and work in bodies and hearts. In our church tonight, for those that are here, minister to every need, dear God. Among families, dear God, you're the healer, you're the deliverer. And also, Lord, we are to believe for any tonight, dear God, that need a miracle. You saved our souls, dear God. You're taking us to heaven. What other miracle can we think of? Great. You can do all the other miracles that are needed. We believe for these tonight, each one. In the precious and holy name of Jesus. Amen. He's coming soon. My encouragement to us tonight is to be ready. We love you so much out there on Facebook, and we just pray God's blessings for you. We will see you again real soon. God bless you.